Life is a struggle. Life is hard, and sometimes we go through these times where it feels like God's not doing anything, where it feels like we're stuck, where it feels like we're just doing the same thing every day, that nothing new is changing. We're just kind of waiting around maybe. Maybe it's a waiting season. Maybe it's just kind of a season that feels like a drought, and that's what I would call a wilderness. That's what I would say the season that my life kind of has been. I mean, recently it's starting to pick up, and I'm starting to get out of it. And that's why I'm telling you all this story right now, is kind of my experience through it. But the past, I'd say a year, has kind of been my wilderness. So I graduated high school and my family moved to Arkansas, and I had all these bright plans. This was kind of the beginning of the wilderness for me. I had all these bright plans of I was going to go work for the airlines. Life was going to be super easy and chill. I was just going to go travel around and make videos, and that stuff was just going to take off, just so fast, because social media, it just works. It just works so easy and so quickly. Not sure. And then I also could not get on with the airlines. God closed that door. I worked for a long time trying to get on with them. I just constantly, every single day, checking the website, checking to see job openings, applying to literally openings across the country just to hear nothing. And if I did hear something, it was some email back giving me some AI generated response of, sorry, but unfortunately we moved on with somebody else. And some of the emails even would start with, with thank you for your time. We decided to move forward with, and then it would go dot to dot, and you click on it. Other participants, not you. So it was such a little bait, and it was so aggravating. So that didn't work out, and then I was like, okay. And in the meantime, I was looking for a job, for something. In the meantime, I was trying to get this job at the airlines, since that was going to work everything out. So in the meantime, I ended up getting a job at Chick-fil-A, which is where I've been the past year now. And I've been in the back of house, frying chicken, doing chicken to chicken tasks, stuff I don't really enjoy doing because I'm a super healthy person. I'm super passionate about nutrition. It's not really food that I eat. But I met a lot of good people there, and it's really grown me a lot, which is what I'm going to get about the wilderness. But hold on. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to become a trainer. That's what I'm going to do. I love the fitness. I love all that stuff. And so I got my personal training certificate. I worked for like 2 months doing this online course, got this whole thing, and then I still don't have a job. And mind you, I got this thing in the beginning of January this year, and I still don't have a job because there's not a whole lot of job opportunities here in Arkansas, as well as people don't want to hire me because I'm young and dumb, I guess. I don't have any experience. I literally just have the certificate, so they don't really want to deal with me of teaching me anything, of teaching me the sales, of teaching me any of the stuff that comes into being a personal trainer. So that's been the whole thing with that. And now that door is closed as well. So I'm just kind of like, man, God, what do I do? So for this whole time, I've been kind of feeling stuck in my head, just kind of, training for my marathons that I've had coming up, which have been such a blessing, and has really been a really good outlet for me to get through this, between that and, of course, God himself. But I'm just thankful that God blessed me with that. So I've been doing my marathons in the meantime. I've been training, hitting the gym every day like I usually do, and, just showing up to work. I've been doing the same routine, just kind of in this season of waiting, of trying to figure out, God, what do you want me to do? How do you want to use me? This content stuff doesn't seem to be doing anything. None of this seems to be working. What do you want me to do, God? And that's kind of what the past, I guess, 5 months have been. I mean, you can call it a whole year if you want to, but the past 5 months have kind of been like kind of the peak of the wilderness. So where do I get this term, the wilderness, from? Well, what I'm talking about is about Moses. Moses, after they cross the Red Sea and they're about to go into the promised land, but then they don't trust God. They go and rebel against him. They go and create false gods. They go and do stupid stuff. And then guess what happens? They're stuck out in this wilderness, not in a place they want to be, not doing stuff they want to do, just rebelling against God and being absolute fools for turning into 40 years, bro. 40 years. I hope this wilderness doesn't last that long. Like I said, I'm really on the brink of getting out of it. What's really happened now is I'm about to join the Coast Guard, because that's, God closed this door, God closed that door, so I'm kind of like, I guess I'm going to this door. And it's not something that I ever expected myself to do, but now that it's kind of lined up the way it has, and the way that God has kind of paved this path towards the Coast Guard, it's kind of starting to make more sense to me with what I wanted to do. And my path has started to illuminate. As I've started to walk forward, God has showed me the next step and the next step, and that's what I've been trying to focus on. And now what I'm doing is I'm trying to get into the Coast Guard so I can create this faith and fitness platform in the meantime of other fellow believers that are trying to take care of their body. I'm trying to motivate people to value one of the greatest blessings that God has given us, our bodies, our health. And that's what my biggest goal is. I want to get groups and churches that will get together, have devotionals, and we'll go work out together at the gym. We'll go run together. They'll literally be like a whole big group of keeping each other accountable and keeping each other healthy and locked in with God, with their fitness, and with all the aspects of their lives. And that's what I'm trying to do now, bro. And it's like, it's taken this entire wilderness of seeming like it was pointless, of seeming like, why, God, do you have me here? But if I wasn't here, dude, if I didn't get stuck in a Chick-fil-A, and I don't want to say stuck because I'm very grateful for that opportunity. I prayed so hard for God just to give me a job, and I have a job now. But then I complained so hard about it. And I think that's part of the reason I was stuck here longer, was so I could learn that lesson, which is part of what I'm getting to now, is they were about to go into Israel. The people were. They sent the spies. If you've read the story of Moses and the Israelites in the wilderness, they sent the spies out. I think there's one dude for each tribe. So there's 12 spies. They sent them over to the land of Canaan. And they came back. 2 of them were like, guys, there's big giants. Yeah, it's risky. I don't know if we can do it. Well, no, they didn't say I didn't know if we can do it. But I know that we can do it with God. It's worth it. We can do it. But then the other ones were like, no, there's no way. There's giants. God's sending us over here to die. This is horrible. And because of that, the rest of the Israelites were like, okay, well, God literally sent us over here to die. And they all started freaking out. And because of that, God kept them trapped in the wilderness until that generation died. And then their kids went over into there. And I think there's some people, I don't know if you're one of those on the other side of the screen right now, which is why I'm kind of journalizing this, is so I can look back on this later, but also so I can help, hopefully, one of you. Maybe you're stuck in a wilderness. Maybe you've been stuck in a wilderness for years. And maybe the reason that you've still been stuck there is because you haven't learned the lesson you need to learn. You haven't surrendered to God yet. You haven't surrendered this thing. You haven't surrendered your life to God yet. Maybe that is you, and maybe that's why you're stuck here. And I think some people will never surrender that thing. They just spend their entire life hating God for the situation that they're in. Hating God because, God, this makes no sense, why am I here? Hating God because they're just not happy, bro. And if that's you, I want to ask you to surrender this to God. I want to ask you to let God use you again. Quit running from Him, and quit letting yourself be stuck in the wilderness. Quit letting yourself not grow, because that is what the wilderness is for. The wilderness is there to grow you. If I would not have been stuck in this wilderness I am right now, if I would not have been sent to Chick-fil-A, and I say sent because I literally did not plan on going there. I came here not planning on really working a job like that. I wanted to go work for the airlines. Like I said, I literally applied to Chick-fil-A randomly. I just went on to the website and was like, I really don't really have a desire to have this job, but I just applied for it just because. And then it just ended up working out super quickly. And then all of a sudden I was there, and now I've been there for a year. And if I wasn't there, guys, I don't think I would have grown in my faith the amount that I needed to. And now I'm about to go into a place, the military, which, yes, they have church on Sundays there, but there's a lot of lost people there. There's a lot of people that I'm going to have to work on there, and I'm going to have a strong faith to be able to do that. And you know what I needed? I needed to be sent to this Chick-fil-A that I've been at, because I met a ton of great people, a ton of great friends that have really pushed me in my faith. Just being around those people that have kept me accountable, that have prayed for me, that have been great friends, that have really been there for me, it has really grown me in my faith. And I don't think if I would have If I wouldn't have moved to the Bible Belt, to Arkansas, if I wouldn't have ended up at that Chick-fil-A with those people, I don't think I would have grown in my faith to the degree that I have. I wouldn't have even been able to get through this wilderness if I hadn't have been around. If I hadn't have been in this wilderness, wouldn't have been able to get through. I know that makes like absolutely no sense, but here's the thing. God puts you in these situations and there's no way that you can get through it except for him. He makes a way. That's the thing. Like there'd be no way than me before that was in Illinois that was just kind of starting to tiptoe into the faith, starting to make these Christian videos. There's no way he could have made it through it because he wasn't that mature in his faith yet. He wasn't trusting God enough yet. I wasn't. But then when I got around these people, whenever I went through this wilderness to grow, it helped me itself to get through it. God helped me get through it. And now I'm facing another time. Now I'm about to go out of this wilderness into the next challenge, which is the Coast Guard. And this is a huge leap of faith. I'm leaving my family behind. I'm going off on my own. I'm going to a place that is not as strong in the faith as the environment that I'm in right now. And I'm going to have to stand strong. But guess what? I know God's going to make a way. I know God used this wilderness right here to prepare me for the one that is coming. And God is doing that for you right now. And it's your time to take your leap of faith, to let yourself grow in this wilderness, to accept it, to quit moping around, quit living in your sorrow and your sin, and surrender to God and decide, all right, God, I surrender this to you. I'm ready to take this lesson and I'm ready to move on to the next step in my journey. I want you to pray that right now. And I want you to get up out of your sorrow and go do something. Go take that leap of faith, whatever that thing, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's a long journey, even if it's something that's going to be years in the making, like this social media that I've been doing, like the marathons, like the training, like all of these things that you spend day after day after day watering. Whatever it is, you need to have faith and you need to surrender it to God and you need to just do it. Because this time will fly by, just like this time has flown by of you just sitting here doing absolutely nothing, rotting away in this wilderness. You need to let the wilderness grow you so that you can get out of it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It sucks, but it sucks for a reason because it's there to grow you. God bless y'all, and I hope that this helped y'all. I hope this wasn't just me talking in circles, but I'm going to start trying to make more journal type videos like this and me sharing kind of what I've been going through, but I'm praying for y'all.